When it comes to long-range shooting optics, some people think they need this, and some people think they need this. In this video, we're going to talk about what's most important to us as long-range shooters. So to start, our optics can be manufactured in milliradian or minute of angle. Those are angular units of measure. If you don't know which one is best for you, we have some good videos online you can refer to and try to figure out which one is best for you in your application. I will say on this though that having the most refined increments is not always the best. The most popular ones that we find are 1/10 of a mil adjustments for milliradian and 1/4 a minute for MOA. So along with being manufactured in mil and MOA, our optics can also be manufactured in second focal plane and first focal plane. With first focal plane optics, as we pan through the magnification range, the subtensions and the measurements in our reticle remain true no matter if I'm on 25 power or if I'm on 5 power. That is not the case necessarily with second focal plane. On second focal plane optics, you will have to refer to your manufacturer's manual and figure out which magnification setting those subtensions in your optic are true and ensure that you are on that magnification range before you use those subtensions as intended. Along with that, we have different types of reticles that we can have. We can have either a simple duplex reticle, which we all know is just crosshairs, just straight duplex, no information in there except for a aiming point. Right. Along with that, we can also have a bullet drop compensator reticle, which essentially gives us an aiming point and then also several different aiming points underneath for holds at say 200 yards, 300 yards, and 400 yards and so on. As long-range shooters, if this is something that we do regularly, we really like our technical style reticles, something like this EBR-7D or these EBR-7C reticles like in these Strike Eagle 5-25. They're going to give us a lot of information and a lot of utility when it comes to making holds, not only for windage, but also for elevation and make a shot on target and hopefully hit our target. So another feature we look for in our long-range optics is obviously paying attention to the magnification range. So this is a Strike Eagle 5-25. Depending on your specific application, maybe the low end is pretty important. So maybe consider those 2-power, 3-power optics on the low end. And then also it is handy to have a higher end magnification, but it doesn't help us shoot better, it just helps us see better, right? So the magnification range is important to a degree. And then some other features that we look for, we have our adjustable parallax. So adjustable parallax is pretty important to us as long-range shooters. If we don't have adjustable parallax, we have fixed, and it comes from the factory fixed at 100 yards or 150 yards, and we have what we have, right? Depending on your application, that might be okay, but as long-range shooters, we're engaging targets from 100 to 1,000 yards, maybe further, and we need to refine our sight picture for that target. And having that adjustable parallax allows us to put that reticle on the same plane as the target so that there's no opportunity for misalignment. So an adjustable parallax is important to us. Along with that, exposed turrets that are locking are also pretty important. So locking, obviously I can lock my turret down and it's not going to move on me. So when I go put my gun in my gun bag or I'm moving it around a bunch, I don't have to worry about my turrets zipping around on me or anything like that. Also having them exposed, we're always up here doing something as long-range shooters, dialing out to 500, dialing out to 800, dialing out to maybe 1,200 yards or further, right? We may make a couple of revolutions. So having these turrets exposed and then also having a zero stop to where at the end of the day I can dial down, my turret stops and I return to zero, and that's where my gun is zeroed at the distance I zeroed at, in my case 100 yards. And I know that I'm right where I need to be when I come back out to the range the next day. So exposed turrets that are locking and also have a zero stop, depending on your application, may be important to you. So that's what we look for in optics as a long-range shooter. Something like this 2-10 right here, this Viper 2-10. Obviously I have cap turrets on there. This is a great optic for, you know, us Midwest hunters that are going to go out every season and hunt whitetail. You know, I usually zero my rifle and I have what I have. I have a little bit of information with the BDC reticle that's in here and it's second focal plane. So even on that low power magnification, I can still see my reticle nice and big. But if I have to take a cap off in order to manipulate my elevation or even my windage turret, chances are if this is what your optic looks like, it's not necessarily intended for what we're trying to do as long range shooters. completely possible to shoot long range with an optic like this. It just makes our job a little bit harder as long range shooters, as we have to accommodate our equipment. Our equipment is not necessarily accommodating us. So with the cap turrets, I have to take the cap off to manipulate the turret, whether it's elevation or windage. With these, you're not gonna have a zero stop, so I dial freely in both directions, and there's no stop where it indicates where my rifle is zeroed. Same thing with these Diamondback Tacticals. However, this is the exact scope I have on my hunting rifle here in Wisconsin, and I can dial for elevation if I need to push out a little bit further, but in my case, I'm never really gonna go a full revolution up, so I'll always know where to return back to zero. So think about your application and which one of these features might be most useful to you. So we talked about some of the features that we're looking for in our long-range optics. I have in front of me the 6-36 by 56, one of the best long-range shooting optics you can get. Has all the features that we talked about, and really it just helps us out as we're hitting those targets out to distance. We can also get options that aren't going to break the bank, something like the Strike Eagle 5-25 by 56, all those same features, right, and gets us shooting out to distance and hitting those targets. If you guys are still wondering what optic is right for you, you're not sure what's right for your application, we have the optics finder on our website, or just drop us a comment below and we'll help you out.